Our first key speaker will be Chawki Tawbi, who is an IBM analytics and data science technical. He is gonna talk to us about the artificial intelligence in e-governments. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you again for inviting IBM Dr. Osman. Thanks, Your Excellence, for your introduction. In the next 20 to 30 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, I've been told, I will try to take you through the AI in government, so how AI can be leveraged by government, and more importantly, what would be the responsibility of any government, in driving AI in the country. And of course, in 15 minutes is very short. Maybe at the end we can take questions. So the agenda will be as follows. I think this morning we spoke about why AI now. I will go through it very quickly, but at least just to set the scene that why this hub about AI, the role of data, why data is important to build AI, and the availability of data. So I will touch on that we need to go through digital transformation before really getting the data to get to AI. Then, as I said, what would be the responsibility? We see in the Arabic world, because of course, the mature countries, they maybe have some advances on us, but if we compare Lebanon to what's happening around in the Gulf and in the Arabic countries, we need just to put a strategy. I will speak about what would be the responsibility of the government in that perspective. Some, of course, what would be government use cases leveraging AI, and some of the applications. When I say applications, these are some references where really we implemented AI. IBM helped some government to implement AI. So I will go very quickly. Yesterday I went in details on that. Yeah, as you say, AI started 60 years back, tens of years back, 60 years back. In 1950 was the first mention of AI, or first tentative, it was by Turing, who was like, he advanced the fact that would a human being be able to build intelligent and smart machines? And he did some tests he created himself. And since then, we have got a lot of advancement in research in AI. The first term, or the first time we mentioned AI was in '56, this term of artificial intelligence. And so over years, as I said, it was research. One of the first application on AI IBM has done was in '97 with the Deep Blue machine, which was built to play chess, and we were able to beat the worldwide champion at that time, Garry Kasparov, and for whom was yesterday here. I will just repeat it for the new people. I met with him 7 years back, and he said till now he is still frustrated that he got bet by a machine. So, and he introduced, by the way, which I can mention, he said at that time AI, or when the machine was doing, is we was still at the stage where we give the steps and to the machine to take, it was more clear. While IBM has introduced later on Watson, which was more based on general information, where here we have got the advancement where machines could understand and could implement natural language processing to, again, be champions in natural language, which is based on the Jeopardy game. I don't know if you know it, but this is a game where we put a series of information or sentences about something, about an event, a fact, a date, or a person, and the players should find what we are speaking about. And the machine was able to beat the two best players in this game. So why we have done this? Again, IBM, it wasn't just for playing or for making games. It was actually to see later on how we can bring this to the market, how we can bring this to the industry. And since 2011 till today, we have made a lot of investment and a lot of applications to bring AI to the industry. So as I said, one of the thing that is triggering this buzz of AI is the explosion of data. You see here what's happening in the world in 1 minute of internet. It's just to give an idea how much the data is exploding. And again, Dr. Ahmed this morning went in details through this. So, but also what we have mentioned this morning is not only the data that has made this advancement, is also the advancement in computing powers and in algorithms. Mainly these three things together: data available, abundance of data, computing power that allows us to deal with large volume of data, and the algorithms that has been evolved very quickly. And as I said yesterday, and I repeat here, is based, because it is open source, or the community today, they are participating. We have really large open source community participating in an advancement on algorithms side. So building AI without data, we cannot go anywhere. We need data to be able to because actually when we build AI machines, what we do actually, we think about it like building a brain. And of course today, there is a difference between what we call narrow AI and general AI. The narrow AI, what we are building today is, I would say, brains that are specialized in one domain, okay? So we build this brain, and then we teach the brain to how to answer questions that he has never seen before. It's like in a human being, okay? But to do this, we need to ingest data. The first thing, we speak in IBM about what we call AI ladder. So to go to AI, you need to go through different steps. Collecting the data is very important, and His Excellency mentioned about the e-government, the electronic things. So we need to become electronic, to be able to collect the data, to be able to put governance on data, security on data. This is the next phase. And then we can start having insights, doing analysis. And this is, in AI today, people are speaking a lot about, they are calling everything AI, but when you dig down, you see that AI, it has different use cases, has different aspects of AI. So, as I said, data, again, this is very good, and the company today, the disruptors in the market, if you look to them, all of them are digitally born. If you took the Uber, the Airbnb, Netflix, all of these people, they are. What does that mean? It means that their data are fully digital. And this is why, and this is in government, I guess, everywhere, even in the world, we need to do first, we need to digitize the data. To be able to access this data, if it is still on paper, it is paper-based, we cannot really apply intelligence or apply any AI. So there are steps to go through. First, when we speak about digital transformation, actually there is 3 steps. And I think, I hope in Lebanon we are more advanced, but this is the first step is digitizing the data, is transforming the paperwork to digital. So this might be just to archive. Some people are doing it just to make it more searchable by some attributes. Then, we can introduce some OCR on them and make them being able to extract information from these digital papers. But the next phase, digital transformation, is in the middle, where we start applying digital to some processes. We start digitizing automating some processes. Because digital transformation cannot, what's happening today, and this is the next phase, and where AI will bring us to what we call digital reinvention, where we will be able, based on the insights and data, to change our processes. That means, today, if you look, I gave the example of Netflix. Netflix today, if you see, they are becoming producers of movies. What would be the dream of any producer is to know if his film will sell and he will get the ROI on it. So what they have done is, based on what they see from their the people subscribed to Netflix, so what are the movies or the series they are interested in, and they started developing or producing themselves this. This is what, this is digital reinvention, is introducing new services and new things based on the insights that you can find out of the data. So this is, I would say, this is the ultimate goal, and this is where AI is bringing us. So government responsibilities. Before going to that, let's see what are the forces, what AI is bringing to us, and what are the challenges. So here there is 6 axes, if you'd like, that are, I would say, affected by or driving AI. First thing is the impact on society. It's sure that it will serve the people, it will serve the society, but at the same time, and we have got this question this morning about the risk on employment. And this is, we see that governments should be ready or should really drive and see the future or foresee the future to adapt to this. AI, with the technological advancement, all of this, of course, it's bringing to us, we have a lot of, I would say, capabilities, a lot, as we said, the computing power, but again, we need to put architectures and platform and infrastructure in place to be able really to drive the data. Of course, the perception we spoke about today, there is a lot of, we start seeing some questions about the trust and the fact that AI might be biased. This is very important, and His Excellency mentioned that we need to manage the confidentiality. We need to deliver to people that, or the government should show that we are really dealing with the data, with the privacy, and we are not really exposing data that shouldn't be exposed. So this is why you see here, government should create policies on ethics and on security and governance of data. And of course, one of the challenge, and of course, as well, things that we should work on is skills. Today, skills is, we don't have a lot, in the world, and we have seen some numbers this morning. We have a lot of scarce in the specialities, because not everybody should be AI specialist, but to serve AI, as we said, building data, creating analytics system, creating infrastructure, we need different types of skills. So these skills we should plan for them for the future. So with that, what would be the government responsibility? I split this in different topics. So maybe I didn't put everything for the sake of time, but if you look, the first thing is strategy. Putting, again, thinking, yeah, we need to do AI, but let's put a strategy. And strategy would include different specific things. It includes, as we said, putting like we see other government putting 2030, 2025. I don't think it's just numbers. We need to think like this in Lebanon. We have to say maybe in 2040 or hopefully before, but at least let's have a strategy to create a roadmap. So in this roadmap, we need to speak about the skills, how to build skills. We need to speak about the governance, the ethics, and all of that. At the same time, government can help today in building a platform. Maybe some of the government I see I will mention only our Arabic world in the Middle East. They are creating themselves a platform that serve, I'm still in government, so they are creating organizations that will be responsible of creating an AI platform. And this organization will help like the other ministries. It will be, I would say, a centralized arm or element that will serve other, like the other, I would say, the whole entities in government. So what this will help for, you will be focusing on building these teams and this platform, because if you go with the piece with every ministries, you might delay things and you might have them doing double things twice. So this is why having this centralized platform to serve the different entities, it's something we need to think about. And here we can think about what we call private cloud, so we can have an internal or a government private cloud that can serve the different ministries. Okay? In that as well, what we can I didn't, I skipped the research part. I know that universities in Lebanon are advanced, and AUB is really renowned even internationally on research. But government should be involved also in building research initiatives and working hand in hand with organizations. Yeah, very good. So research is very important. As I said, building the platform, building prototypes. So this platform or this central team or whatever we can call it can build prototypes on AI. Then, yeah, when it comes to projects, what you need to do is by each segment or by each government, by each ministries, let's say, think about what are the use cases that AI can be leveraged in. These are very important because sometimes, as I said, people are mixing between different things. So it's very important to work with the different ministries, for example, in transportation, healthcare, education, security, and so on and so forth. Okay? And finally, on the education side, they need to partner with maybe universities, but also with the private sector, where we can build together curriculum for the future, what type of skills we need to have. We can build communities, user group like the one we are having with Dr. Osman. And also, government can be very key in creating events that can drive awareness in the market about AI. So these events might be hackathons, might be meetups, might be, okay? So with that, if we move to what types of use cases government can build with AI, there's three axes when it comes to use cases or when it comes to using AI. One of them is the engagement, engaging how to build systems that can interact with people and engage them. We can build, for example, e-services, chatbots, things that can be leveraging AI and natural language processing to deal with people. We can build use cases that can help making decisions. And again, as we said this morning, IBM is presenting AI as augmented intelligence, to not say it will replace people in decision making, but it will help people to take decisions. And finally, on discovery side, discovery means being able to find insights and correlations that human beings today are not able to do, knowing this mass of information we have, that we cannot really go, and sometimes, there is hidden information, and some of, we spoke about data mining yesterday. So originally when we were speaking of data mining, it was where systems started giving us relationship between information we have never seen, because we could not, as a human being, being able to discover this by reading the information. So what types of use cases we can speak about? We can speak about like involving and giving services to citizens. We can, to manage the fear of employment or just, to manage the human capital. So what type of skills we need to have. Not only what type of skills to educate people on, how to transform. We spoke this morning about, okay, the people might be, some of the jobs might be replaced by AI, but how to reskill, how to upskill the existing people, how to make them take benefits of AI to do more advanced job. Yeah, of course, one of the domain, which is very, that use AI very extensively is the security and crime management and crime detection. This is, I would say, and this is even worldwide, the first people that are really leveraging this is the security, the intelligence, and people that, like, it's more MOIs, Ministry of Interiors. And of course, AI, and one of the team of this panel is fraud detection and corruption. This is AI with what we said, finding correlations, helping us to prevent fraud, or to make fraud, even make actions that become dissuasive for doing fraud is very important. Of course, as I said, border security, intelligence. When I always mention this example, when I go out from Dubai, I'm living in Dubai, I don't need to go through any, it's just I put my ID and not even my fingerprint is on my face, it's face recognition, and I can go out from the country. This is, they are even working on doing a completely, I would say, passport-free, and it will come at the end, if we have all our like face recognition, digital recognition, and iris recognition, we'll get to a point where we don't need to use any ID on any passport. Okay? So to go on some of the examples of like we can, as I said, we need technology to be able to collect data, to extract insights, and so I will skip this one very quickly for the sake of time. So some of the utilization or usage of AI might be in video, as we said, in surveillance, in video analysis. Today, London, for example, is very known to have a lot of cameras, and they are using it, and they can follow suspects by just automatically they identify faces, and they can react very quickly. On the video as well, we have got a partner they have developed a drone that can do visual recognition, and they can, on highways, they can detect if there is accident, and even if they can detect if in that accident there is injuries or there is dead people, to mobilize the people, or they support very quickly. On audio side, today I think it's massively used, the fact that we can transform the audio or do voice to text and being able to analyze what's happening in a conversation. Today, if for any reason we are willing, and I think it's happening everywhere and not only in the Arabic world, that we might be like following if we want to detect if there is any attack in preparation, any terrorism attack. So we cannot control every call, but we can detect suspect types of calls by analyzing what has been said during a call, and so on. So this is, I think, intelligence and interior is very important. And it can be also, AI can be used for social media analytics today. Government, I would say, I hope Lebanon will be more advanced. And we are democratic, it's known to be that. But if we can react to what has been said on on medias, on social media, and being able maybe to improve things based on what people are thinking. So I will skip. This is, again, the fact if we are able to digitize all our data and being able to recognize, and this is one of the advantages of having a single, focal entity that can work on AI, because you will be able to have information from different ministries. Because today what we see even in the world and in our region is each ministry, if they are working on silos, they cannot leverage data that are coming from other ministries or other organizations that can help them detect, for example, fraud detection or other things. The fact that we have a central entity, you will be able to cross and do a 360 degrees of the citizen and being able to detect things that are not visible by one organization. Some real life examples, this is on task forces or police mobilization. So in Belgium, what they use AI to do is to do optimization of where to send their police every day. So based on events happening in the city, based on the regions or the zones, they know that there is high level of crimes on Saturday or Sunday, whatever, and based on that, they optimize the dispatch of their troops. This is a case on pollution detection in China, in Beijing, where they are able to predict pollution in 1 square kilometers 72 hours in advance. So they can only do actions on specific areas of the city, closing schools, even informing hospitals, based on predictive or early detection of. This is, what in Dubai, Dubai, and I didn't go through this, but Dubai, they have a minister of artificial intelligence today. They don't have a ministry of artificial intelligence, but this is the fact that they have put a minister. He is very active in creating. He is now working with, IBM also involved with Smart Dubai to build a data science center of excellence to try to start working on AI. So Dubai, they have developed this chatbot actually to incite people to invest in Dubai. So the idea is you can go and ask some questions where to invest and what type of paperwork I need to do to create maybe a company. And just, I'll pass this video and I will finish with this, Dr. Osman.
How do I recharge my Salik?
You can charge your Salik balance by making a payment online or by purchasing a scratch card at certain gas stations. If you would like more information, you can look at my tablet.
How do I apply for a residency visa?
Residency visas are issued by the GDRFA. You can apply for one after receiving a job offer and if you the entry permit from your employer. You can look at my tablet for details.
Let me just, before closing, the fact, a chatbot, I always say it is a pure, I would say, it's a very great example of AI. Even if we think chatbot is very minimal application, but actually it involves a lot of AI capabilities from voice recognition, voice to text, doing insights, and also doing text to voice. And these capabilities, searching, and based on open questions, it is what we can do in AI. With that, thank you so much, and thanks. I'll take questions.
Chawki, thank you very much for this very nice presentation. I would just like to say 2 points on what you have presented, and which I think is very interesting. First is I read a lot about software in the US, in Chicago, that is called PredPol. PredPol is a prediction police software that is used by the Chicago police. And it uses all the data they have, all the infrastructure of data, all the cameras, everything, to predict the crimes. And actually in Chicago, they are trying right now to stop criminals, not by doing crimes, but by predicting that they are going to do crimes. And this is part of the artificial intelligence, which I think is very important. And here comes another matter, which is very important and we have to keep in mind always, is the moral and the values of AI. Because AI doesn't have the values that we have and what we share. Especially if I want to take an example, which is the car, the automatic car driving. The automatic car driving, if we set rules for the car, it's gonna follow the rules. But if we have a child in front of us, and if we have two old person in front of us, if you were driving and you don't have choices between either hitting the kid or hitting two elderlies or, I don't know, two big person, who would you choose? You would have a choice. But the AI, can we give these values to a car? And I'm not saying that we have to hit the kid or we have to hit the elder, but at the end, when you're driving a car and you have to do a choice, you're gonna use your values and you're gonna use your moral values to do it. Will AI be able to choose, or will we be able to implement values and morals to this AI? This would be the next question for the future.